My name is Rick St. Charles, and I'll be moderating up until Scott comes up and takes over. Welcome home. We're glad you're here. We like to start each Sunday service by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is the ancestral territory of the Wiyot peoples. This territory extends to the communities through most of Humboldt County, and we honor the Wiyot peoples today. So, let's do the welcoming affirmation here. Oh, I don't have my switcher. Marvin, where's my switcher? You don't know? Can you switch it? Oh, okay. Magic. I'll just use my finger. Okay, let's say this together. What should we say at the end instead of the thing that we usually say? Anyone have an idea?
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay.
It's beautiful. Isn't that clever?
That's very clever, Louise. Okay, so then we turn to someone and say, good morning. Okay, here we go. We are a welcoming community where the vibration of love lifts us, the wisdom of the ages inspires us, and the science of mind teaching empowers us. Good morning. Good morning. The best to you each morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Now we have something special on our next slide. Here we go. Marvin, you ready? There it is. These are in front of the center, and these are native buckeye trees. Buckeyes. Yep, that's right. And they will form a chestnut-like nut, and don't eat them because they're poisonous, unless the seeds of the California buckeyes served as a staple for California Indians, who would mash the roasted seeds and then leach them to remove the poison. That would make them edible. Now, they would also mash them. This is true. I was hoping Brian was here because this would be a good tip for him. And he's what? What's he doing in the other room? Cleaning the toilets? He's missing my words of wisdom? Well, you know, I felt a little shaken today because all day a large bird with long legs has been following me. I think I'm being storked. Anyway, now this is true. I did some research. The Indians would mash these seeds, and then they wouldn't leach them. They would throw them in a pond, and it would make the fish very soporific so they could easily catch them. They drugged them, yeah. I kid you not. Okay. Let's see, the weekly schedule is coming up. There it is. Now, there's a correction here. Burl is doing A Course in Miracles by Zoom. So just pretend it's not crossed off. And everything else, there's nothing else going on because the people that run those things are partying in Alaska. Okay. Oh, you're doing it. James is doing it. Okay. On Zoom? Yes. Great. James is going to be doing the Course in Miracles. Okay. Do you want to come up and say anything about it? No. No? Okay. His lips are sealed. Okay. New class in June, The Power of Decision. Okay. There it is. He's a very good author. He was a no-nonsense kind of guy. I read an anecdote about him once. I guess it's true. He was a minister and a counselor, and some guy came in and he handed him a sheaf of papers and said, "These are my problems. This is what's wrong with me. This is what I want you to help." And Dr. Barker took the papers and threw them in the trash can, and he goes, "I don't know what your problems are. Let's talk about the solution." Okie dokie. Twice nice. Anna, you want to say anything? I know she's here. Donna wants to say something. Okay. Is she helping Brian clean the toilets? What is this?
Very likely. Very likely. A couple of things Anna was going to tell you. However, the 26th is a Sunday, the next Sunday, and if you are available and willing, we'd like to clear the fellowship hall to begin moving up the tables and the racks. And then following the Sunday on June 2nd, then we'll clear this room to bring all of the other stuff up here. Hey, Judy.
Next Sunday's my birthday party.
Yes, don't forget, down at the Big Mike's Pizza or Magic Mike Mountain. And the other thing about Twice Nice this year, we're not including the plant sale. However, I have, several other people have, many plants before the plant sale was scratched. I need a plant coordinator. Just all you got to do is stand by the plants and say, yes, that one's good for shade, that one's not so good for shade, yada, yada, yada. So if you're a plant person and would like to participate in a very gentle way during Twice Nice, you'll have a table. And that's that. Now, Anna, I mentioned about the changes in the 26th and 28th.
All right. Well, has anybody called anyone that they don't usually call that's on their phone to ask somebody out of their immediate circle if they'd like to volunteer? Raise your hands. Oh, thank you. Look, the two of the best activists in town here. Thank you very much. So, okay, what we're asking is that people make, this is a TED Talk thing. Please call people you don't usually call, talk to people you don't usually talk to, and you'll be surprised at the success you have in recruiting new energy and new people. We need stronger people, so if you see someone able-bodied and they're an acquaintance, so the trick is reach out to people you're not usually in touch with to ask favors for. And I want to see everybody's hand go up next week. All right. And so you spoke about the changes. So the 28th is the day we'll be after service. Everybody's going to help move.
28th is
The 26th. The 26th is the day we're going to move all our chairs. You already told us. We're going to move these
on the 2nd.
on the. You better do it, Donna, because I've got too much going on. You did it right. Okay.
So we can have Judy's party first and then move everything out?
So
In there.
So see me after service if you want to volunteer. I want to make sure I get your name and what you're capable of doing. And June 2nd, is that the drop-off days?
No, that's a Sunday that we move.
Yeah, our drop-off days are supposed to be on here somewhere. Sorry. Next year, we're going to be very empirical. Oh, and if you'd be interested in being in the social club, we're going to have a sign-up list over there, and I appreciate it because I couldn't coordinate the bowling this month because I wasn't given a contact list for people who want to do something together on a weekday or another day. So if you'd like to be in our little social group, we were going to go bowling, and it was cheap and it was fun. So, whatever you like to do, if you'd like to help set up some alternate activity, here's your sign-up list right here. Social club.
Zoomers, we're talking about, Anna is talking about signing up for the social club. She's hoping to raise some bowlers.
Or bird watchers or walkers.
Bird watchers, walkers.
Every month, nobody shows up. Sorry about that.
Well, we'll call it a social activity, maybe they will.
A social activity. And if you have something in mind you'd like to do that's a social activity, let Anna know.
I want to know everything.
Okay, Marvin, get ready for the next slide. And here we go. Okay, bookstore, May sale. Books by Alan Cohen and Louise Hay are 20% off. Next slide, please. The little pantry, as always, needs feeding. No ramen, please. You can see what we need. Okay. I don't think we have a green minute this week. Oh, we do. Louise is going to do it. Okay, going green with Louise. Take it.
Okay. Well, somebody knew that I was doing this from the newspaper. I can't show you because, well, we could pass it around. Anyway, it's a political cartoon, and the man is looking at the woman, and he said, "So now they're putting plastic wrappers on the paper straws. Help me help it make sense." Anyway, I thought that was pretty appropriate. So anyway, my name is Louise, and I am an artist. And most of you know that, but if you don't, my name is Louise, and I'm an artist. So I decided my green moment was going to have to do with my art because I was looking around my studio the other day and said, so now I'm going to tell you just one sheet, what I recycle. This is only part of it.
Oh my God.
Kind of put it-
So, I like to reuse and repurpose items. I have an old dish strainer, and I use it to display art. Now, some of these things I might mention, you can obviously use outside of, the art world. I use one of those utensil trays, that for your forks, for your utensils, yeah. I put in pencils, pens, stuff like that, keep it on my desktop. I have an old muffin tin. I do painted rocks. I put them in there to display them for sale. I have a solid core door, added some folding legs, and now I have an art table. I bought a Craftsman rolling tool chest with really shallow drawers. Now, that's repurposed because that wasn't cheap. But anyway, it's really great for paper storage and other really small things, or you could use it in your garage. Junk mail. I love junk mail because if it's got a blank side, I keep the blank side, I cut it into note paper. See, like what I'm going to do with this when I'm done. I'll have 2 pieces of note paper. Any sensitive mail I shred, and then I make new paper with it. And to make that, you need a decal. To make a decal, you can use 2 recycled picture frames. Tin cans. Everybody's got probably tin cans with something in it, but I store thumbtacks, pencils, brushes, shoe boxes. Maybe some of you save those as well. I sort out my different mediums. So I have a box for colored pencils and a box for, watercolor and a box for pen and ink and so forth. Prescription bottles. They're great. I keep them for salt and alcohol on my desk, and that's for creating texture when you're painting. One is in my toolbox. I have a special art toolbox, so when I go to hang pictures, I have those little things, with the nail on them for hanging pictures. Jars, great water containers, but mine have to match. I can't use a mustard jar and a pickle jar unless they match. Prescription, toilet paper tubes. Great way to make stencils. A twig. Everybody's got some of those. Think about using it as a pen for watercolor or ink. Old newspaper. I love to stencil it and make gift wrap. Cereal boxes, the kind of cardboard that you have there, great to cut templates. Plastic trays, makes a great palette, or you can cut those to make reusable stencils. Old credit cards, believe it or not, you can cut them up in little different pieces and use them to make scratching and paint, or like a palette knife. And an old toothbrush, you can splatter paint with it. So this is how I use a lot of different things, and I'm sure that you could think of a lot of different things, that any of the items like old toothbrushes, great to clean things, around your sink and tight spots, and tin cans for nails and screws and so whatever. But anyway, this is what I do, and just to get the ball rolling and anybody start thinking about being green, And before you throw anything away, look at it and say, what can I do with this? So. There will be.
Thank you, Louise. And now we're going to have a moment of peace with Edward Waples and Jackson. Edward? Edward's taking a break from Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band to join us today.
Sergeant Pepper? Actually, it's Zorro. You know, Rick reminds me when he talks of, you know, remember that old announcer on the Password show with Alan Ludden? And, you know, the password is. I did want to remind you, too, that my wife made some pasta for us after service, so we're going to be able to eat a little bit. We like to feed people. Okay, for those who are new to probably Zoom, because I think everybody in here knows, our moment of peace starts with me reading something or yapping or whatever I do. And then we have a moment of silence. Jackson leads us into a contemplative prayer, and then Jackson leads us into my brother Scott's talk today. And I'm looking forward to that because Scott is amazing. Well, sometimes. Actually, on Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday. But okay, my talk today is this thing called You, from the book This Thing Called You, rather, by our founder, Ernest Holmes. And it's in chapter 6 if you want to read it later. We talk about our theme today is from good to great. Well, we all know already that we're great. We don't go from good to great. We go from great to create. And that's pretty much what we are because we're all one. We're manifestations of God. Spirit withholds nothing from you. To believe that God refuses the good you desire is to deny the goodness of God. It is a refusal to accept the profound conclusion of the one who said, "It is done unto you as you believe." Often, you may find that even though you start with an enthusiastic conviction, you become stranded on the rock of unbelief. Refuse to let this discourage you. The law still is that it is done unto you as you believe. No matter how subtle the thoughts of lack, fear, uncertainty, or loneliness may be, they do not belong to you. Your affirmation can erase them. Become master of your thinking, hence, master of your fate.
I'm here to remind you I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved.
What I know is that we are all manifestations of that great creative life force that we call spirit or God. And I know that that life force is good, that life force is abundant. I know that life force will deny itself nothing. And as we are part of that self, we are also denied nothing. We are entitled to the abundance of life in any form or any shape that abundance may appear. We are entitled to everything that our hearts desire here because we are capable of manifestation. And we do this every day, every moment. Even in our sleep, we do this. Our world changes from moment to moment, and as we change it, so do we change everything around us, our environment, our world, our universe. Everything is changed by any subtle thing that we do. Nothing can be overlaid over the original once we have acted upon it. We are God incarnate. We are a manifestation of the divine. And I am so grateful for this knowledge. I'm grateful for this center. I'm grateful for all of the enlightened beings here. I'm grateful for all of those on Zoom and all of those within the sound of our voice. I am so grateful for this world because I know that we are capable of manifesting a great one. All we have to do is to realize it and believe it. And change starts with each and every one of us. And as I put this into the laws of the universe, I know that the universe answers me by saying, and so it is.
I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved.
Thank you, Jackson. And it is my profound pleasure and honor to introduce to you my twin brother from another parentage, Mr. Scott Marcus.
I like that Edward said that sometimes I'm really good. So for all of our sake, I'm hoping this is one of those times. My grandmother used to have an expression. She'd say it in Yiddish, so I'm probably going to kill it, meaning not in the current vernacular, like do it really well, but mean like, that man plans, God laughs. And God laughed this morning because I worked yesterday on getting my whole thing together, and then it printed out random pages, which I didn't notice till I was here. So get ready for a fun ride, hopefully. All right, I am looking for the clicker thing. Do we have it up here? We do not. The clicker thing, yeah, the remote. Just point at Marvin. Okay, I will point at Marvin. So I was on the road as a professional speaker for many years, and it actually ironically started here at our old location, which we called ECORS back then, Eureka Center for Eureka Church of Religious Science. And when Patrick Pollard had moved on, and we were in between ministers, they said, "Oh, who would like to speak?" So I did my very first talk about this time of year in 1995, I think it is, and ended up becoming a speaker. So while I was on the road, I would do a lot of surveys of people. Before I would go to speak to a place, instead of doing a cookie cutter presentation, I would call the management team, I would survey people online, and a lot of times what I spoke of, can I get the slide, the first slide that just says, just the slide that looks like the theme, nothing beyond that yet. Anyway, I would ask people, because I spoke on attitude a lot, about their attitude. And the survey consisted of me standing on a platform, looking awkward and staring at a lot of people. So my career has not changed much. Let's see if we can get the slide up. It's in the PowerPoint. Aha, no, that's not quite it. Let's go to the next slide. Let's see what happens when we hit the next slide. That's me again. Let's try going to the next slide. I've only got 3 slides. I am every other slide. Okay, so more of God laughing. All right, all right, so here. Oh, what the heck. I'm out of here. It's been nice. Tell your friends. I planned this so well. Okay, so here's the story. I asked people on an average day, how would you rate your day? And I gave them basically a 1 to 10 scale. I actually did it in a different fashion. But I asked people on an average day, how would you rate your day? So I'm kind of asking you, on an average day, how would you rate your day? On a 1 to 10 scale, where 10 is, wow, there's nothing better, and 1 is, there's nothing worse. 5 would be an average day. And what most people said when I did the survey, and this was over probably about 5,000 people over about 10, 15 years, and the average person gave their day an 8. Okay, average day, somewhere between a 7 and an 8. So you wake up in the morning and it's like, okay, I feel pretty good about my life. It's an 8. It's not a 10, it could be worse, it could be a 5. The next question I asked was, how would you rate the attitude of the people who you usually associate with? So that would be your friends, coworkers, your family, etc. And something funny happens. My day, my average attitude is an 8. Yours is about a 5. Yeah. Okay. So I think my attitude's about an 8, yours is about a 5. All right? Then I went to the third question, which was, how would you rate the attitude of people you casually interact with in the course of a day? The clerk at the grocery store, the person you bump into at the gas station, the letter carrier, etc. And something funny happened. So I'm an 8. You guys are a 5, they are a 3. And this is it's not scientific, but it's basically true. So basically what we're saying is 1 out of 3 people we bump into has a good attitude. Just give it a 3 out of 10, and basically say 1 out of every 3 people we bump into has a good attitude. So I have a quick assignment for you. Look at the person on your left and look at the person on your right, okay? 1 of the 3 of you has a good attitude, the other 2 of you suck. So you can make the determination. You can make the determination. Now, why am I bringing that up? Because I find it interesting. My talk, geez, you can't see the slide, so I can tell you the title is absolutely anything now, can't I? My talk deals with how we go from good to great and how we bring in the other, because I don't believe we can go from good to great unless we bring in what we call the other, so that the other is all us. As long as there's some sort of division, we can't be as great as we want to be, because we're always having to either protect ourselves or avoid being with these other people. So with that in mind, I started to take a look at some of the ways that we classify the other. And we first start out by classifying the other arbitrarily. It's them. You know how they are. They are odd. They are unusual. They're different. They're just weird. Whoever they are. So then we start with the arbitrary classification. And then we start moving into classifying people based on traits they might have, that we perceive that they might have. And I need to remind you, perception is reality. If I perceive you to be a certain way, then to me you are that way. If I think you got a 3, you got a 3, and there isn't a whole lot you can do about it. Of course, you think you're an 8, and I got a 3. So right away we have a communication gap going on. So we start to put these perceptions of traits. They're stupid, they're arrogant, they're fat, they're morons, they're ignorant, they're elite, they're uneducated, they're out of touch. So this is the they. And the they is everywhere. Then it becomes how they are, because of these perceived traits, how they're different from us. And we start now grouping these differences. Women, gays, trans community, Republicans, Democrats, foreigners, poor, wealthy, Californians, liberals, conservative, religious, atheists. All these ways we classify the they. Then comes the ultimate. We can now start to remove their humanity by putting one word in front of them. It's the bisexuals, the blacks, the gays, the poor. They're not even people anymore. We have, from a belief that there is a separation between whoever us is and whoever them is, we have totally removed them from being people, and they are now the Southerners, the immigrants, the foreigners. And as long as we do this, we can never move to a greatness, because we are always held down by this resistance we have to the others, the them. And as we do this, and I will admit that it's easy to speak how you need to change than it is for me. But this is aimed at me. And I'm hoping you'll see it's also kind of aimed at you, because I can only speak for me. I don't think I'm the other in this sense. I'm having a hard time these days. I try to picture myself as optimistic and upbeat and positive. And many days, I'm not an 8. Because I wake up and I see what's going on in the world, and I'm a 3. And let me tell you, when you're a motivational speaker, as I was, and still do periodically, a motivational speaker with a bad attitude is really a hard pitch. Not a lot of people are signing up to buy that. So this, as I said, is written to a large extent for me, and I hope it shares, I hope you get something out of this. So let me go back to the classification. We classify these others into all these non-human categories. And once we do this, once we're able to do that, we become afraid of them. And fear is a very uncomfortable feeling. Nobody likes to be afraid. So if you've ever been to therapy, and I got therapy and therapy and therapy, if you've ever been to therapy, you learn that oftentimes we mask fear with anger. Because fear is like this, Anger is like this. I can get big and bold. So now I think of these others, and I become afraid. Because what are they doing? What are the Republicans doing? What are the Democrats doing? I'm afraid of what they're doing. They're coming after me, so I better get angry. And once I get angry, then I can vilify them, because it's their fault. They're the reason that this is going on. And once I can vilify, I can justify. Now I have a rationalization for how I am entitled to treat them. Because I have removed them from me to some other place, and they are coming after me, and I must protect me and us. So I get big and strong and take up psychic, if not actual, arms against them. It doesn't paint a happy picture. But I won't leave you on that, because I'm going to move this. Here's one of the quotations I liked. This is from Thomas More in practitioner training, or maybe it was just his practitioner group. We had to read Care of the Soul. I don't remember why I had to read it, but I liked it. Thomas More said, one reason a person steeped in a self-image of purity can easily become violent is precisely because he is so blind to that potential within himself. If I can bolster myself, then the need to be afraid is diminished. And as the fear diminishes, so does the anger, and so does the vilification. And it allows me to experience life on a greater level by welcoming them in, which is, there's a common, some things are simple but not easy. As many of you know, I was a weight loss coach for many, many years as part of my speaking. And I used to introduce myself to people who were new at a presentation about weight loss. And I would say, weight loss is really, really simple. Shut your mouth and move your feet. I mean, that's all it takes. But it's not easy. Simple is the concept, easy is the implementation. So it's simple to say, oh yeah, I'll just welcome all these people in. But it's not easy. I got near 70 years of this training on me. How do I turn that off? And I like something that Louise said today when she was talking about, don't look so surprised, you say good things. As Edward said, sometimes you say good things, as he said about me. But Louise mentioned, before I throw anything away, I say, what can I do with this? Doesn't that apply to people? Before I throw something, see, look how wise you are. You're most welcome. Before I throw them away, what can I do with them? And for me, one of the biggest lessons I have learned and continue to learn is almost everything boils down to a competition, struggle. I used to use the word fight, but I don't like that. To a decision between fear and faith. That's it. When I am upbeat, when I am moving forward, when I am being inclusive, when I am believing in this philosophy, it is because I am full of faith. When I am shrinking, when I am doubting, when I am hating, when I am angry, it's because I have fear. There's nothing wrong with fear. Fear is designed to protect us. It is to keep us away from harm. But fear can either be a fortress or a jail. So how do we get out of this? And again, one of the lessons that I'm working on is forgiveness. And as I said earlier, it's a simple concept, but damn, it ain't easy to forgive. To forgive, it's easy to forgive if my wife and I have a disagreement, or my friends or my family, it's easy to forgive. I don't want to be at odds with any of you. But they deserve it. They deserve this righteous anger, this vitriol. So in order to forgive, it boils down first and foremost to forgiving ourselves. You cannot forgive anybody if you cannot forgive yourself. Because if you're not worthy enough to accept forgiveness, how can somebody else who is lesser than you, who is a they, who is different, be worthy of forgiveness? They can't. So why don't we forgive ourselves more? And I think, certainly within this philosophy, I think many of us are working hard at forgiving. I would go so far as to say even they are working at forgiving. See, look at how I'm being more understanding right there. You're welcome, Brian. On behalf of all of the thems, Brian has spoken up. I think we don't forgive because of 4 reasons. Either we don't feel we're worthy, we don't feel the other person is worthy, we don't know how to forgive, or we just plain don't want it. I don't want to forgive. So some tips on how we can be more forgiving. First thing, and this is when, ironically, when many years ago, in one of my earlier talks here at Eureka Church of Religious Science on Myrtle, I spoke about forgiveness and thanks because I was going through a divorce. And I believe forgiveness and thanks are really the same thing. They're just flip sides of the same coin. For example, oh, that's one of the pages that didn't print. Okay, well, let's see if however well I can remember. Forgiveness is to absolve somebody else of a perceived responsibility. I forgive you because I am absolving you of the way you treated me or what you did to me. Thanks is absolving yourself of a responsibility. In other words, once I say thank you for something, I have now taken it. I am not owed to anybody. When I say thank you for all I have, I am now owning it. I am accepting of it. When I say I forgive you, I am letting you go on and own your life. But whenever we do forgiveness or whenever we give thanks, it's really not for anybody else, but for ourselves. I forgive you. There are people that I forgive that I'll never see again. There are people who I've learned to forgive who don't even live anymore. They don't know it, or maybe they do. But I do it for me. And I give thanks for me so I can feel freer. So if I can start to realize that being forgiving is also being thankful, then I can start to take a look at these 4 reasons, wherever they are, and I can start to turn them around. I can say, well, that other person is not worthy, but I must have had a relationship with that person before in some way, shape, or form, so therefore I can be thankful for the positive things that I have received from them and not have to forgive them as much for what they aren't doing to me. I can be thankful for the fact that these other people, these other entities are trying to improve our society, our world, my life in their own way. Thank you for doing that. And I can forgive them because that's for me. This is really quite awkward from this side. The comment was, we forgive you. Sometimes I feel I can't forgive somebody because what they have done to me is so heinous, so horrible, that they have taken a part of me. And how can I forgive you for taking away that safety that I had? How can I forgive you for saying those things to me, for seeing me in that light? Forgiveness is about the feelings, not the behavior. I am not condoning the behavior. I am just letting go of those feelings because they have hurt me so badly that I'm hanging on to this, and that is now what's hurting me. It's not the action. The action hurts but once. the feeling hurts forever. So I can say, all right, I'm forgiving them because I need to let go of this toxic sludge that has been coursing through me. It's not hurting them, and it sure as heck not helping me. So I can forgive, I can let the feelings be softer while still saying, because I can forgive somebody, but I can still say, I don't want you in my life. I can forgive those people out there that when I turn on the news, which I do less often than I used to, but when I turn on the news and my blood boils, I can learn to forgive them, not for them, but for me, because I can't carry that hatred with me all the time. I cannot move from good to great if I am constantly in a state of anger and pain. And the only way I can do that is to let go of it. And also say, what was it in Fiddler on the Roof? One of my very favorite movies, one of my very favorite plays. Is there a blessing for the Tsar? They asked of the rabbi. Yes, there is. May God bless and keep the Tsar far away from us. So may the universe keep those people far away from us? I don't know. Maybe they're in here. So I learned to forgive. I learned to let go of these feelings of hatred and vitriol of them because it's for me. And when I can forgive and I feel lightened, I am stronger. And when I am stronger, I can do more of what it is that I need. I am no longer held down by that weight. So I think it was Gandhi who said, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. It takes real strength to forgive. I think for all of us, one of the most uplifting stories we ever heard. I'm looking for something that was supposed to be printed. And it's my closing quotes here. Here we go. I don't even know what I was saying. Try doing that in front of a couple of thousand people, because it's happened. Just flow with it, yeah. All right, so back to the lesson of forgiveness. I can forgive these people to improve my life so that I am lighter. When I am lighter, I am stronger. When I am stronger, I can make more change to make my world better. I can only get from good to great when I forgive, when I can let go of this. So we have only two choices. If we wish to move from good to great, and if we are somewhat entrapped in the feeling of the other, that there is an other, then we can either forgive and accept, or we can blame and we can exclude. And that path just continues and continues and continues. So, two quotes about forgiveness and just about the oneness of who we are. This first quote was from John Lewis. And if you don't know who John Lewis was, he was a representative for the state of Georgia from 1981 to 2020 when he passed away. And he was called one of the big six leaders of the civil rights movement in the 1960s. And he said, when historians pick up their pens to write the story of the 21st century, let them say that it was your generation who laid down the heavy burden of hate at last, and that peace finally triumphed over violence, aggression, and war. So I say to you, this still being John Lewis, so I say to you, walk with the wind, brothers and sisters, and let the spirit of peace and the power of everlasting love be your guide. And one other quote is, I remind all of us that we, without me, is them. We look at this is us. This is we. We without me is them. So this quote, a little bit longer, from Alan Seal, Create a World That Works. And this is what we'll close on, and then we'll go into a meditation. When you get an infection in one organ of the body, the entire body can soon be affected because that organ is not able to function fully and support the body. Any aspect of your life that is out of balance soon affects all other aspects of your life. The whole self cannot thrive when any of its aspects are compromised, and so it is in our global community. When one suffers, all suffer on some level. All of life as we know it on planet Earth breathes the same air, exchanges the same molecules, drinks the same water, and exchanges energy in the form of thoughts and/or interaction. Everything and everyone is a part of the whole, and the essence of the whole is within everything and everyone. There is no separation in the larger web of life. There is a fundamental oneness, whether or not we choose to recognize it. Embracing this concept of the all in all and all in the all opens the heart to unity consciousness. Unity consciousness brings greater compassion, understanding, love, and acceptance of others and circumstances. Unity consciousness brings greater recognition of similarities with others rather than emphasis on differences. Living this principle means stepping beyond labels of separation and meaning one another soul to soul, heart to, and meeting one another soul to soul, heart to heart, as human manifestations of consciousness. The divinity implied in this principle is not one that separates one from another or makes one better than another, but one that unites us, recognizing that no one is better than another because all are manifestations of an aspect of consciousness. In this respect, the principle of mentalism is the great equalizer. We are all born of the same source, and we all carry that source within us. Go into a treatment as I close this off. I am grateful for the understanding that I, speaking on first person, that I am part of a greater one. And I accept that there is no division between me and them, us and they. It is all an illusion. And if I can rise, and as I rise above that and I see down into this one world, I realize we are all the same. We are all struggling. We are all enjoying life. We are all doing the best we can. We are all experiencing the very same being. And knowing that we are all the same, I have no choice but to lovingly look at everybody as a reflection of myself, which I find healing and beneficial and empowering and moves me forward. And as I move forward, I know that the world is created even better than I thought it was and continues to grow and prosper on levels that I cannot even see but know are happening. So I release this thought, these words into the law of mind, knowing that they are happening at all times, even when I'm not paying attention. And I'm grateful for the fact that the law continues to work. And I say with gratitude, and so it is. Thank you. So now I will take it from this point on, or I could call Edward back up and make him do the end, freak him out. We have, let's see, an affirmation that is on the screen. Our affirmation is, there it is, look at that. This one written by Catherine Kane. Together we say, I recognize the great good that is here for me and for all. Therefore I call it forth, rejoicing in the tremendous blessings that pour into our lives now. And speaking of tremendous blessings, Donna Landry will now lead us in music.
And before they sing, I have a quote that fits in really well with what you have said today.
Please, Jackson, share it.
I believe it's from Superman 3. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die.
Oh my God, that's wonderful. Thank you. Holding anger is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die.
You've got the shirt on under your...
Has he got the shirt on? Okay. And now our music, and I'll just wait here.
This is our friend, Deanna Saladay. Over 40 years ago, Deanna was attending Eureka Center for Spiritual Living, but it was ECORS at the time. or associated with many of us. And we've been good friends for many, many years, and she's back. So I'm very happy.
That was unnecessary, but
You're
thank you,
welcome.
Donna.
You're welcome. This is called Love in Any Language.
Je t'aime, ti amo.
Ya tibia le bleu, anio he veroka. I love you.
The sounds are always different as the lands from which they came.
Though our words are all unique,
Our hearts
are
are
still the same. Love in any language, straight from the heart, pulls us all together, but never apart. Once we learn to speak it, all the world will hear. Love in any language, fluently spoken here.
Teach the young our differences, but look how we're the same. We love to laugh, to dream our dreams. We know the sting of pain.
From Leningrad to Lexington, the farmer loves his land. Daddies all get misty-eyed to give their daughters hand.
Oh, maybe when we realize how much there is to share, we'll find too much in common to pretend it isn't there.
Love
In any language
straight from the heart,
pulls us all together,
but never apart. Once we learn to speak it, all the world will hear. Love in any language, fluently spoken here. Oh, the rhetoric of government keeps us worlds apart. There's no misinterpreting the language from the heart. Love in any language, straight from the heart, pulls us all together, but never apart. Once we learn to speak it, all the world will hear. Love in any language, fluently spoken here. Love in any language, straight from the heart, pulls us all together, but never apart. Once we learn to speak it, all the world will hear. Love in any language, fluently spoken here. Sing it with us. Love in any language, straight from the heart, pulls us all together and never apart. Once we learn to speak it, all the world will hear. Love in any language, fluently spoken here. Love in any language, fluently spoken. Whoops. Love in any language, fluently spoken here. Muchas gracias.
All right, we're going to move forward with our sharing of our gifts. We do. We have some people who will be passing the plate. Please put in it whatever you can. And always, of course, even if there's no cash, put in love. I believe we will have our affirmation on the screen. There we go. Together, let's say, I gratefully give from the fullness of my abundance, knowing my gift blesses this center, all in it and beyond, and so it is. And the band plays on. Knowing that these gifts are given with love and will go forth to spread that love wherever they touch, we know that these gifts, these donations are going out into our community, into our city, into our state, and into the world, creating a ripple effect of love, inclusion, and helping us move from good to great. And for that, I release these words into the law of mind, knowing they're already happening, and I say, with gratitude, and so it is. Thank you. Okay, if there's anybody, for the Zoomers, because we don't have all of our stuff here today, if somebody would send me a message about how many people were on the Zoom call, I appreciate it because I track our attendance. So, oh, we have that right there. Okay, we have 9 fingers on Zoom. I'm assuming that means 9 people. That was, you ask the universe and look how quickly it responds. If we will have in the other room, Amy, who is now over in the other room preparing food, has brought some food for us. There's, of course, always camaraderie and friendship in the other room. You're welcome to join us. There's also camaraderie and friendship in this room, but we tend to go into the other room. And the sign-up sheets. And if we have time for about one demonstration, and also a reminder that, hold on just a second. And also a reminder that if you need to meet with a practitioner, our practitioners today are Susan, myself, Michelle, and Edward. And you can hit us up after the session. Okay, one quick demonstration. Do you have this? Okay, come on up, Donna.
I had a friend that just had colon surgery. He had cancer, and he is doing good. They got rid of the cancer, and he's in the hospital right now in another town, but his name is Alan, and if you could keep him in your prayers, it would make me feel good for him and his family. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Okay, we need somebody to come forward, please, and read our community statement of inclusion. And then Donna will lead us in closing out with the peace song. And there you have it. Thank you, Brian.
Scott. All right, thank you. We, the Eureka Center for Spiritual Living, are a community that celebrates diversity, fosters inclusion, champions inner work, and creates space for brave, vulnerable conversations. We are a community that honors the unique emanation of God that each person embodies and advocates with people for human rights and dignity for all. We are a community that blesses each other, sees sacredness in all life, remains learners and listeners, so we may grow together and understands that oneness is not sameness. With me, please. We know our beloved community is revealed more fully when we love each other well.
Thank you, Brian. Please stand and join us as we sing together the peace song. Hey, good job.
this is the moment now. With every breath I take, yes, this is my joy.